Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. So we covered verses 39 and 40 last time, and then we are ready to look into 41 and 42. Let us read 39 and 40 once. Atmanyevakhilam drishyam प्रविलाप्य धिया सुधी भावयेदेकमात्मानं निर्मलाकाशवत् सदा आत्मन्येवाखिलं दृश्यं प्रविलाप्य धिया सुधीः भावयेद् एकमात्मानं निर्मलाकाशवत् sada. Now we go to the 40th verse. While we read the verses, keep contemplating in the mind the highest truth that you are the Atman. रूपवर्णादिकं सर्वं विहाय परमार्थवित् परिपूर्णचिदानन्द स्वरूपेण अवतिष्ठते रूपवर्णादिकं सर्वं विहाय परमार्थवित् परिपूर्णचिदानन्द स्वरूपेण अवतिष्ठते ज्ञातृज्ञेयज्ञेयवेदः परेणात्मनि विद्यते चिदानन्दैकरूपत्वात् दीप्यते स्वयमेव तत्. What a beautiful way he is explaining. ज्ञातृज्ञेयज्ञानभेदः ज्ञातृज्ञानज्ञेयभेदः परेणात्मनि विद्यते चिदानन्दैकरूपत्वात् दीप्यते स्वयमेव तत्. So let's understand that. He has used three important technical words. Jnatru, Jneya, Jnana. What is Jnatru? What is Jneya? What is Jnana? These are also called Pramata, Prameya, Pramana. Suppose I am seeing a rose in front of me. The rose is the object. That is called Prameya or object. Okay? That is also called Jneya. Okay? When I am looking at individual objects, it is called Prameya. When I am looking at the Jnana, from the Jnana standpoint of view, it is called the Jneya. Okay, let us understand Pramata, Prameya, Pramana first. I am looking at a rose. Rose is the Prameya. There is a Pramana instrument, the vision, which I am using. And the Pramata, the knower, is the Pramata. This is the knower, the knowing instrument, and the known. Pramata, Pramana, Prameya. These are a must. These are absolutely required. In addition, several other things also may be required for you to cognize the world. To cognize the world, these three fundamental things are essential. And they are separate. Because when I am looking at the rose, I am not the rose. I am separate from the rose. The object of perception is completely different from the subject who perceives. The pramana may be in the subject, may be outside. If you are using I, it is with you. If you are using a scale to measure something, the pramana is outside. That can vary. But the pramata and the prameya must be separate. Subject and object must be separate. For what? For all cognition. Through the ears, through the eyes, you think over and you can analyze later on. Okay. When I come to this is all called Savishesha Jnana or conditioned jnana or vastu jnana or limited jnana, cognition of objects of perception. When we move deeper, we move from Savishesha jnana into Nirvishesha jnana. Nirvishesha jnana means there is no person or there is no thing or any nama or rupa, rose, table, person, brother, sister, house, money, bank. Nothing is there in that. All these Vishesha have merged. That is called Nirvishesha Jnana. In Nirvishesha Jnana, there also to know something. Do you require three? Yeah, we require three. What are the knower? That is the Jnatru. The knowledge about which I am knowing something, that is called the Jnayam. And the process of knowing through the knowledge is called the Jnana. Now, Jnatru, Jnaya, Jnana, they become one. You see the beauty. In Laukika world or worldly cognition, Pramata is separate from the prameya, subject, object are different. Pramana may be inbuilt in the subject or it may be exterior. An eye and a scale. Okay, fine. Now, this is all in conditioned knowledge. Savishesha jnana, vastu jnana, laukika jnana, transactional cognition. Now, you have moved into the Atma now. You are now in the Nirvishesha Jnana. You are not thinking about any object or Nama and Rupa because we are already transcending the Nama Rupa. We know their appearances and they don't have a real existence. Then what I do? I have moved into the Jnana field. When I am the Jnana Swarupa, is there a threefold differentiation? What are they? The knower. This is the Jnatru. The one that is being known. That is the object of this one, cognition, object of knowledge is the Jnayam and the Pramana is the Jnana. This completely dissolves and don't say it is not there. It will be there, but all the three will be one. Jnatru Jnana Jnaya Vedha. This differentiation, which you see in the outside world as Pramata, Pramana, Prameya, almost same as Jnatru Jnaya Jnana only. But in the Savishesha context, we call it as Pramata, Pramana, Prameya. In the Nirvishesha context, we call it as Jnatru Jnana Jnaya. Jnatru, the knower, Jnana, the knowledge, Jnaya, the one that is known, that you are Brahman, you are known Brahman. You are the knower as Atma, and the Brahma is the one that you have known. So the knower Brahman becomes you yourself, the Atma yourself. Through what you are knowing to the Jnana. That Jnana also is here only, all the three. Give me one example. When it can happen, all the three can be one. Do you sleep? Yeah, yes. Do you get dreams? Yes, I get. In dream, you have seen an elephant. With what? You have seen it with your dream eyes. Who saw? You only saw. Are there three things? You, your dream eye, and the elephant. Are the three or one? They are only one. Everything is only the mind only. You are that mind who saw the elephant. You are that Indriya or the eye which perceived the elephant. You are that elephant also. All three have dissolved into one. Even in our very worldly experience of a deep sleep state, in the dreaming state, we experience all three have merged into one. Where is the question of they being different in case of Paratma? That's what he's saying. Jnatru jnana jnaya petha pare atmani na vidyate. Pare na atmani vidyate. Separate it. Pare na atmani vidyate. Pare vid atmani na vidyate. In the Paratma, there is no distinction. Bhedha, distinction of Jnatru, Jnana, and Jnaya. I transmitted 2, 3 important concepts. Pramata, Pramana, Prameya for outside transactional worldly cognition. They have to be different. They cannot be the same. Pramata and Prameya must be different. Whereas when we come to Atma Jnana, the Atma is Brahman, Atma is knowing the Brahman, Atma is the knower, Brahma is the known, or Brahma is the knower, or Jivatma he is knowing the Atma. So the knower known, and knowledge differentiation completely merges, just as Swapnavat, just as in the dream. My eye, the elephant which I saw, and the person who saw the elephant, all three have merged. Okay, then when all these things are merged, what is remaining? Yeah, everything has merged into one, we said. Chidanandaika rupatvat. Chit Ananda Eka Rupatvat. The one and only one, it is Sat and Ananda. Sat includes Chit. Chit includes Sat. Chit is Chidananda is Chit. Chit means Sat also. Because there cannot be a Chit without Sat. I have told you several times. Chit Ananda Eka Rupatvat. Who is that? Swayameva, I myself. Tat Chidanandeka Rupatva Deepyate. I am illumining myself like that. Swayameva, by yourself. What are you? What is that illumination? You yourself are. Tat Swayameva, that you are. Tatvamasi. Jnatrugnyeya ज्ञातृज्ञानज्ञेयवेधः परेनात्मनि विद्यते परे आत्मनि न विद्यते चिदानन्दैकरूपत्वात् दीप्यते स्वयमेव तत्. So the moment Acharya uses the expression that the Jnani knows Brahman, it would mean that you always think, oh, Jnani is there, Mr. X, he has become a Jnani, Chaitanya is there, or Lakshman is there, or Prasad is there. They are the Jnanis, they have become Jnani, and Brahman is separate. Brahman is known by Prasad, Brahman is known by Lakshman, Brahman is known by Chaitanya. So the knower is separate from the known. The Jnatru is separate from the Jnayam. This is what you all think. So when somebody says, I experienced Brahman, I know Brahman, it means that you feel that Brahman is not you and something else. Just like in the other world, I know a rose. If I say what? I am here, rose is there, I saw the rose, I know the rose. Pramata, Pramana, Prameya, Triputi. This is called trivariate bifurcation, trivarification, or threefold understanding. This threefold one collapses once you become the Jnani. Immediately, when you say, I am there, I know Brahman, just as I know Venkateswara temple, it is not like that. Brahman is you yourself. Then Dvaita immediately rushes in. So Acharya says, knowledge is only a word used here. There is no knowing here. It is just being. This is an opposite of ignorance. Brahman is not an object of knowledge. Whether you know Brahman, somebody asks a Jnani, let's say they went and asked Brahman, Sir, did you know Brahman? What are you saying? I am Brahman. He will say, I know Brahman. Then do you want to know Brahman? He says, I don't want to know Brahman. Why? I am Brahman. Because I am Brahman myself. Even he won't even say that. He just smiles at you. Because there is nothing like I and Brahman. There is no knowing also here. There is just being. So Pramatru Pramana Prameyas are there in this Triputi is there in the Vastu Jnana, Savishesha Jnana, cognitive knowledge, worldly knowledge. They collapse into one in case of Atma Jnana. As long as the avidya is there, then all this Triputi will be there. Once you are the Advaya Ananda, then what you become? You become Chit, Sat, Ananda, Ekarupa. Satchid Ananda, Ekarupa. Oh, they will say Ekarupa if he doesn't say, oh, Ananda is separate, Chit is separate, and Sat is separate. I will be in Chit for some time. Then after next year, when New Year comes, I will become Sat, and the following year I will become Ananda. Not like that. All three are one and the same. That's why Ekarupa. चिदानन्दैरूपैरूपत्वात् चिदानन्दैकरूपत्वात् दीप्यते स्वयमेव तत्. So, often there is a search for peace or truth. Frantically, you use all your energies and search for Shanti or peace or Brahman or so-called God which are seeking. We look it out in the outside world, here and there. Sometimes we try to look in the mind also. This is not in the mind also. Because mind also is illumined by this. If truth were a discrete object, we could eventually grasp and hold it. Like, this is a discrete object, I can grasp and hold it firmly or drop it. Whereas Brahman is not like that. However, non-dual tradition of Advaita Vedanta, the standard mode of knowing, the seeker pursues the goal, is identified as the very barrier that prevents us from realizing. If you are pursuing Brahman, it is futile. Because you cannot pursue Brahman. You can only understand everything else is null and void practically. They may be appearing, they are appearances, they have no real value. The thing that I am, the Vastu I am, the Swarupa I am, is Brahman. This is called end of subject-object divide. In the world, you have every time you have subject-object divide. That is Pramata and the Prameya, the knower and the object of knowledge. Whereas when you come to Atma Jnana, there is no subject, there is no object, there is only one. Atma, you cannot say it is the subject because it is not a thing that is seeing something. Atma cannot be an object because it is not an object of perception. It is neither subject nor object. It is Chidananda Eka Rupa. Hope you understood. When the knowledge becomes the identity, what is knowledge? Knowledge is the jnana. Jnana is the jnatru. Jnatru is the jnaya. Jnatru is the atma. Jnaya is the Brahma. Let us say Brahma, Atma and jnana is one and the same. You need not say Brahma-atma jnana. Because Brahma is Atma, Atma is Jnana, Jnana is Brahma, Jnana is Atma, Atma is Brahma, Brahma is Atma. There is no threefold division. Vedha na vidyate, where Pare Atmani Vedha na vidyate. In the Paratma, there is no differentiation. You cannot divide and say, oh, this person is Brahman, this is the object of knowledge by the Brahman, and this is the. It's not like that. Pai ज्ञातृ ज्ञान ज्ञेय भेदः परे आत्मनि न विद्यते. When you cancel out this subject-object divide, what remains is Chidanandaika Rupatvat Deepyate. Deepyate means illuminating, Prakasha. Deepyate. Deepyate, Deepa is Prakasha, one which shines. Not like this lamps here and there, but this is the light of knowledge, the light of Jnana, Jnana Deepa. That is the Deepyate. Who is Deepyate? Swayameva tat. That what we are discussing, the Chidanandayika Rupa, tat, that one, Swayameva, I am that. This is called the radical nature of non-dual bliss. Why? Chidanandaika Rupatvat. That light never shuts off. This room light is shut off in the daytime, or when the power goes off, the light is shut off. This inner light or Atma light, it's not inner or outer, it is everywhere. That light ever shines. There is no switching off that light, because that light itself is switching on and switching off every light. That light is switching on your speech, switching on your indriyas, switching on your intellect, switching on your mind, switching on your eyes, and switching off them also. Okay? That is enlightenment. Radical nature of non-dual bliss. This reason, the reason that self-shining awareness admits no internal distinctions, why doesn't admit these three jnatru, jnana, jnaya distinction, is found its very nature, chidananda rupatvat, because the self is a singular essence of consciousness, bliss. It is inherently non-dual, eka rupatvat. The word eka says there is no distinction of whatever nature you can think of. When we say eka, we cannot say jnatru, jnana, jnaya differentiation. Bliss is not an emotional high. Don't think, yeah, Atmananda, I have got bliss absolute. No, I will be very high, as though when I had a wonderful experience of my trip to Switzerland, I was on a very high. It's not like that. Neither it is low also. It is not dukkha or sukha. This is very neutral state. Bliss is not an emotional high. We get rewarded for any practice that you do. From here, you take a lot of pain and tickets, go to Switzerland, you get some ananda. Transitory, temporary, again it goes. There you lost your mobile phone, then dukkha also there also. What will happen? This bliss is not like that. It is not a reward for your action. It is an inherent light, inherent illumination. This is the bliss absolute. This is not bliss relative. Okay? This bliss absolute, nobody can steal, nobody can increase, nobody can decrease. Navardhate no kaniyan. It cannot increase, it cannot decrease, because it is not a physical light, physical bliss, not a physical ananda. The journey toward truth is not about adding more information to the mind. Understand? Journey towards the truth is not about adding more information to the mind, but recognizing a reality where the knower, known, and knowledge have collapsed and become one, and that one is you. I say they become one, then immediately you say, oh, this is one Jnani is there in a Rishikesh. He doesn't have the distinction of Jnana, Jnatru, and Jnaya, and he is there. It's not like that. Swayameva tat. You are that, my dear. You don't have to search anywhere. Even if you search, it is futile. It cannot be searched because it is not an object. It is a shift from seeking a distant object as God or experience or Atma to being the self-effulgent light that makes all experiences possible. Somebody says, I don't believe Atma, Gitma and all that. I don't know. The God itself is existing. Where is the question of one universal Atma? Okay. How can he say that? He said because of the power of speech, power of the mind. Who is empowering that mind and speech? Consciousness. So the very fact that somebody refutes Atma Jnana or presence of Atma or God, he is doing that in that godliness only, in that Atma Chaitanya only. This is what Shankaracharya many a time he says, even for a fellow who is refuting Nastika and who doesn't accept God or Atma as the universal consciousness, that statement he makes, that understand, he may not make statement. Let me have an understanding in the mind, let in the buddhi, that also is propelled by the consciousness. So there is nobody in the world who is a Nastika. Nastika means who doesn't believe in this sort of thing. There is nobody, because even that fellow is in this consciousness only. ज्ञातृज्ञानज्ञेयभेदः परेणात्मनि विद्यते चिदानन्दैक रूपत्वात् दीप्यते स्वयमेव तत्. Beautiful. Let's go to the next verse. एवमात्मा अरणौ ध्यानमथने सततं कृते उदितावत् गतिर्ज्वाला सर्वज्ञानेन्धनं दहेत् सर्वाज्ञानेन्धनं दहेत्. So he is now bringing a practice of generating fire in olden days. What they used to do, they used to have something like a plate like this, a wooden plate with a hole in the center, and they used to have a stick on the top. And that stick will be rotated very fast. So with the friction between the bottom plate of the wood and the stick on the top, the heat generates. This is how they used to produce fire. This is called Arani. A-R-A-N-I, Arani. Arani means there will be Adho Arani, there will be Urdhva Arani. Adho Arani, the fixed plate, which has got a round hole of around 1.5 to 2 inches size. Not a through and through hole, some depression like thing. And there will be one very powerful stick which fits into that depression. And that stick is very powerful. They tie a rope around that and then move the rope this way and that way. The whole thing will be like you are churning the milk. It churns. And the friction that the upper Arani, Urdhva Arani, produces on the base Arani or the Adho Arani, the friction produces fire, spark. And the wood gets converted into a little bit of fire will form. That fire they will transform and use it for various yajna purposes. There are 3 types of fires. One fire is called the Garhapacha Agni, which is there always in the Grihastha's house throughout. We should not put it out. The second one is called the Dakshina Agni, which you keep on the right hand side, and then that is used to cook all the materials required for the yajna. And the actual Agni where you do is called the Ahavaniya Agni. Ahavaniya Agni, Dakshina Agni, Garhapacha. So what they do is they prepare the fire. The first fire is prepared by doing this churning. This is called the Arani. Supposing one applies friction and does it, after a few minutes he stops before the fire actually generates, then all the effort is wasted. Then he has to start all over again. So Atma Jnana is like that only. You have to continue to do it. This kind of sort of friction with your worldly things you avoid and try to get into the Atma Jnana. That sort of inner churning is a constant, continuous process until the fire is produced. Once Atma fire is produced, then you don't have to do anything. Why? That fire destroys everything. Sarva Jnana Indhanam Dahet. Sarva Ajnana Indhanam, fuel. The Agni that is generated, that Jwala, Uditavat Gatir Jwala, that Jwala which has come out, that flame, it will burn every Ajnana fuel into ashes. What you have to do? First line is about the process. Evam, this way, Atma Aranau, in the Atma being the Arani. So the lower Arani part is your Atma, your own. Atma here is not Sachidananda Atma. You can't do any madhana with the Atma. Atma here is your intellect. In the deeper intellect, which is the Atma. Atma here is the intellect. So depending on the context, you have to use it. What is the upper stick? Dhyana mathane. The meditation is the upper one which rotates there. Dhyana madhane. Then you have to do satatam krite. Until you get the jnana fire, jnana flame, you have to do. If you do a few minutes, few times and stop, no fire will come. Even if you do 1,000 times like that, the fire will not. Even one good attempt until the fire is produced is good enough. एवमात्मारणौ ध्यानमथने सततं कृते एवमात्मा अरणौ ध्यानमथने सततं कृते उदितावगतिर्ज्वाला उदितावगतिर्ज्वाला सर्वाज्ञेनेन्धनं Dehet evam. Thus, in this way, Atma of the self are now in the Arani, wooden piece, Dhyana Mathane, churning in the form of contemplation, Satatam, constantly, Krite, when done. Udita avagatir jvala. Avagati is knowledge. Udita avagati. You have to split it as Udita, born out. What is born out? Avagati. That is the knowledge. How is it? Like a jwala, like a flame. Udita avagatir jwala. What does that do? What is the purpose of that fire? There, in the Arani example, the fire is for the fire rituals that they wanted to do several rituals. Here the fire is Sarva Ajnanendhanam Dahet. Dahet is future tense. Shall burn. Burn what? Ajnana Indhanam. Indhanam is fuel. Fuel of ignorance will be burned. Oh, something may remain. No. Sarva Ajnanendhanam Dahet. All the fuel of ignorance is destroyed. When you are in the Atma Bodha, when you are in the Chidanandaika Rupatvat Dipyate Swayameva Tat. When you get into that state, for that you have to do a constant practice, like the churning of the fire churning, fire producing churning. This one where there is a bottom plate and there is a stick. Here the bottom plate is your deeper intellect, which is a pure intellect without any confusions, without any worldly distractions. That pure intellect, you do the churning. With what? Dhyana mathane. What I have to churn? Atma now. My intellect called the Arani. I do churning. With what? Dhyana mathane. How? This way. As we have, what they have done earlier in the Arani like that. When? Constantly. Satatam. What to do? Somebody else will do. No. Krite, you have to do yourself. And you have to do yourself. Then what will happen? Avagatir jvala udita. Avagati, avabodha, knowledge. Brahmajnana, jvala, the fire of Brahmajnana, udita, springs forth. It comes out. Then what it will do? It is not for cooking or making tea. This jnana fire is not physical fire. It is a metaphoric fire. Rupaka. That metaphoric fire, ajnana indhanam dahet. All the ajnana fuel. There are several fuels for ajnana. What are you doing? My son, my job, my confusion. They have told like that. Bus accident. I read this. That is not true. A lot of fueling into the mind to keep it going on like that, unnecessary things. This fuel is all avidya, ignorance. That fuel has to be, the hate shall be burned to ashes. A little bit will remain? No. Once you have got avagata jvala, it is udita, sarva ajnanendhanam, the hate. Here, Acharya is comparing the nididhyasana and the phalam to a famous example, Arani Mathanam. Arani Mathanam comes in the Katopanishad. There also they have mentioned about it. In olden days, fire was produced by churning an Arani wood. Arani is a piece of wood with a central depression of around 2 square inches. Okay. There, one would be lower arani with a scoop-like thing, and an upper arani which fits exactly that, and which is like a rod. By churning both, the fire is produced. This is the example. Because everywhere he gives examples. This is the drishtanta in this. Atma aranau. Atma here means nanidhityasakas antahkaram. Atma here is not Sachidananda Atma. You can't do any churning with Sachidananda. It's not amenable. Atma here is the nidhitya, the meditator's deeper, pure mind. Okay, not Sachidananda Atma. The upper arani is not mentioned here, but you have to say dhyana madhana, you said. So dhyana is the upper arani. So you have to use the Veda Vakyas, the Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, Ayam Atma Brahma, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. All these Mahavakyas are the stick manthana stick, mathana sticks. So use them dhyana madhane in the contemplate in the mind. Okay. Atmaranau dhyana madhane when satatam krite sati. When this is done, satatam, constantly. How long? Till the fire comes. How long you churn the arani? Until the fire is produced. Once the fire is produced, there is no need to do the churning. By churning, what will happen? Udita comes out. What has come out? Jwala, flame. What jwala? It's not a physical flame, like a candle flame or any other flame you see. Avagati jwala. Avagati is the deeper understanding that you are the Atman, Sachidananda Atman, that Jwala has come. Then what that will do? That Agni has got 2 jobs to do. But normal Agni, what it will do? It has got 2 jobs. Suppose you have an Agni, what are the 2 fundamental functions of Agni? One, it can burn or heat up anything, or it can illumine. Supposing you don't have any light, what you do? You burn some charcoal in one corner, there is light. So illumination is one thing, prakasha. The other one is the heat. The Agni has 2 properties, light and heat. Illumines and destroys. It destroys anything or heats up anything. Okay. Similarly, Atma Jnanam illumines Brahma Tattvam, that you are the Brahman, and destroys the karma pasham. Agni illumines and destroys. Atma Agni, Atma Jwala, Avagati Jwala illumines the Brahma Tattvam in me, not separate from me, but as me myself. And it also destroys. What it destroys? Sarva Karma Phala Dahati. So it destroys all karmas. Karma means karma phalas. Karma is action. Action and its fruit together are once for all destroyed. Jnanam destroys karma also. When they say all karmas, all accrued karmas, sanchita karmas, those who have been collected over the years in this life and Esther lives also. And once you are in the jnana, you are not touched by the future karmas also. The prarabdha karma will be there, that we know it is only an appearance and falsified. Prarabdha karma is not destroyed, but you know there is no satyatva buddhi on the prarabdha karma. Now, avagati means samsaya viparya bhava rahita jnanam. What is avagati? Avabodha avagati. The Sanskrit word avagati or avabodha is unquestionable jnana without any trace of doubt. Samshaya and viparya. What is a samshaya? They say, I am Brahman, I am this poor fellow with this 6 feet and 70 kilos weight. How can I be Brahman? That is one samshaya. Viparya, they say Brahman is eternal, I am dying. I see people dying, I am getting old. People say Atma doesn't get old, they are saying this viparita bhavana is there. This 6-fold vikaras I am experiencing. But Atma is nirvikara, and I am asked to know that I am that Atma. That is a viparita. Samshaya, how can this poor soul, 6 feet, 75 kilos weight fellow, become the Atma Brahman? That is not the understanding. We are not talking about the size, shape, nama and rupa. The second thing is, Atma is not supposed to have any of these vikaras. Atma is nirvikara. I am experiencing the savi, all vikaras there. So how can I say this is the viparita? Samsaya, viparya, bhavana, rahita jnanam is called avagati. The definition of avagati is samsaya, viparya, rahita bhavana, rahita jnana. Habitual reaction should have gone. That's called habitual reaction. Udita, born out, comes out. So the flame of Atma Jnanam will burn or come out and do what? Burn down all the fuels called Ajnana. Sarva Ajnana Indhanam Dahet will burn. Indhanam, fuels. What fuels? Ajnana indhanam. Ajnana fuels. What are ajnana fuels? All your multifold thinking, raga, dvesha, good, bad, like, dislike. All that is the fuel for the mind. Every day that mind is being propelled only by that fuel. All that fuel is the hate burnt out. Something may remain, sir, still. No. Sarva ajnana indhanam dahet. Ajnana indhanam dahet. Just as the Agni burns all the fuel, like your firewood or anything you put, paper, you put any coir, anything it does. Jnana burns ajnanam. So once this ajnanam is gone, vichyate hridaya grandhi chidyante sarva samshaya. The knot in the heart is opened, all the samshaya jnana has gone. Now, the friction of growth. He is using this example. For your growth, you must undergo a terrific friction. This is called sadhana. Without sadhana, you will not be able to. That friction is metaphorized by this Arani example. In modern landscape of instant gratification, we want every instant food, instant coffee, instant gratification, instant supply, instant husband, instant wife. No need to have any marriage or anything. Every instant gratification. That's how we are. We often view spiritual clarity as something that is found or attained like a digital download or a gift from heaven someday, some point of time. No. I ordered in Swiggy, in 5 minutes it came, instantly it came. It's not like that. You cannot order in Swiggy, Zomato, or Porter. Nobody can bring it. Okay? You always assume, no? I know, I wait, I do some reading here and there. Sometimes probably I attend Dr. Sharma's lectures also. He's a quite boring fellow, but still some substance is there now and then. But I will wait for some good day where instantly something from heaven, a flash of light will come. I become jnani. Nothing like that. It's not like that. When we feel stuck in the dark, we wait for a lightning bolt for inspiration to strike. However, the Atma Bodha, a timeless manual of Vedantic wisdom, suggests far more active paradigm. He requires you to be actively churning and then taking that responsibility of friction. We are introduced to the ancient technology of spiritual ignition. Wisdom is not a passive event, my dear. It is a spark generated through deliberate process of internal friction. It's a deliberate process of internal friction in a pure mind. Because in an impure mind, however amount of friction you apply, it will not produce any effect. For example, that wood, I put water in that and try to churn. Will I get fire? No, because already contaminated with water. When it is wet, I cannot generate fire. Likewise, if my mind is soaked in worldly things, how much amount of friction or attending to classes or YouTube videos or Swamiji darshanas you do, or temple visits, 100 times. I visited 100 times Tirupati temple, I have produced a Guinness record. Now this is my 100th visit. What is the use? You are soaked in worldly life. Even without a visit, you can get illumined. Even one visit is sufficient of Balaji to illumine you. But you go on going again and again. Morning you do one darshan. No, no, sir, I did not see properly. Evening I will again go in the queue, pay some more money. Second darshan. Not satisfied. The third darshan. What means? What happened to your first darshan? No, I did not get any spark. Second darshan, no spark. Third darshan, same Vidal I am seeing, no spark. Then when do I get it? Never. You understand? This ancient technology of Arani is brought not simply to say that Vedanta understanding is not a flash of light. It requires lot of sadhana. But once the fire is produced, it is instantaneous. It doesn't have to do any other thing. To illustrate how the flame of realization is born, the text invokes the Arani. Arani is the traditional Indian fire drill used in ancient rituals. It's a fire drill. And this wasn't the matter of striking a match like this. It's not take a matchbox, not like that. Not a cigarette lighter, not like that. It's a physical labor of rhythmic churning. Even at the last moment you stop, it will not produce fire. Like that, until the fire of knowledge is produced, you must do this churning. The lower wood, he says, Atmanam aranim kritva in the Upanishad. Atma is the Arani. Atma is not Satchidananda Atma. It is the seeker's pure mind. Vishuddhanta Karana is the Arani. Okay. Now, the upper rod. What is the upper rod? How the Vedanta Vakyas and Vedanta teaching, the sacred teachings of the Vedanta, by the sages or the gurus or Shankaracharya, are the churning stick that I have to use. There is something profoundly counterintuitive about this. Look at this. We like to think of knowledge as a gentle illumination. Slowly the light up. You see the stadium, the floodlights in cricket stadium. They won't light up suddenly. Slowly. It's not like that. Atma Bodha says flame as a result of effort, the flame of knowledge, udita jwala. Jwala is what? Not simple, some spark like a sort of the glowworm. It is a jwala, the fire of knowledge is like a flame of knowledge. This suggests that the truth is not simply handed to us. The fire of realization requires the wood of a disciplined mind and the rod of the sacred teachings to be pressed together for a good enough amount of time with great effort and vigor and produce that flame of knowledge. When this lower and upper, higher aspects of self. What are the lower aspect? The lower aspect is the antakarana or the buddhi or the mind. The higher aspect is your knowledge that you gain from the scriptures. When these are friction, when the mind or the intellect is friction or bombarded with the knowledge of Vedanta, the Mahavakyas, the churning takes place, and at one time point fire generates. That is not a simple spark, it is a mighty flame. What does it do? That mighty flame, it annihilates, it just makes every damn anatma or the ignorance part of the fuel into ashes. Shravana is active, focused, listening to the truth. Manana, rigorous analysis and reflection that removes the doubt. Nitithyasana is the deep contemplative churning which we are taught. Crucially, these are not three separate aspects. No, I will do Shravana in my 40th year, go to Manana in 60th year, Nitithyasana in 90th year if I live. That's not like that. Whenever Shravana takes place, that time itself you should start reflecting. That itself you should reflect the next morning in the dhyana. They are not three independent, separate packets to be handed over one after another. You pass 10th class, you get this certificate. You pass BSc, you get another certificate. Then you become PhD, you get another. Not like that. Shravana, Manana, and Nidhyasana are done together. Okay. In the physical world, you stop churning the Arni, even for a moment, before the spark comes, the entire effort is wasted. Likewise, the fire of jnanam only ignites if the churning does not stop until the flame of knowledge is udita, is produced. Sporadic reflection here and there, listening one class here and there, not attending regularly. We have now conducted 42 class. I don't know, 22 classes or something like that. Occasional class I will hear. Sometimes when I am free, I will do Atma Sagyana Sadhana. What rest of the time, what you do? I will do all sorts of anatma and worldly mundane things. I will sometimes. No. I asked one fellow, what do you do in your free time? Oh, in my free time, I study my books, class books. That means the rest of the time he is using the time for useless things. Likewise, Atma Jnana is once in a sporadic, once in a time, not event. It is a constant practice that you have. Once the fire of knowledge is born, referred to as the flame, the fire is a flame. It possesses a dual alchemy. What is that? It illumines and it destroys. Illumines what? That I am Brahman. Illumines, reveals my Brahma Tattvam, the ultimate reality of existence. If at all we are worth the salt of being a human being, you cannot but try for Atma Jnana. If you are worth your salt. If you feel you are worthless, then you don't try. That's what Shankaracharya said in Viveka Chuda. Atmaha. It is suicide if you don't attempt for Atma. He said. Do you want to commit suicide? First, the Atma Jnana fire will burn the fire of this one. It illumines the Brahma Tattvam, and the karma pasham, it will burn. The rope of karma. That is the one which is binding you, me, everyone. So, to be free, light alone is not enough. You do not just need to see the rope. That is time. The rope should be cut off. If I see with the light the rope tied to me, what is the use? I must see the rope, see the knot, open it, and untangle it. This is burning the past, burning the future, all the three layers of karma, sanchita. And agami, prarabdha, of course, is falsified. There is no satchitva buddhi in the prarabdha. That way, entire fuel of karma is destroyed. Then what will happen? After the flame is produced, when that fuel of ignorance, ajnana indhanam, is consumed and transformed into the total, the seeker moves from ajnana to the state of jnana. What is that jnana state? Chidananda rupai, chidanandaika rupatvat dipyate swayameva tat. That is the knot in the heart is broken. Vichyate hridaya granthi. The heart knot. What is that knot? I am getting confused that I am this worldly person. I don't realize my true nature as Atma. That is the knot. That is the tangle, deep-seated doubt, habitual reactions that dictate our life. When it breaks, the habitual knee-jerk reaction of life's ups and downs are simply vanishing. The fire has done its job, leaving behind the clarity of the Brahma Tattva, this self. This ancient technology leaves us with vital question for our own modern journey. In our search for wisdom, are we applying enough constant friction to start our jnana fire? You question each one of you, including myself. I have to question myself. Am I applying enough consistent, constant friction called this madhanam to start the jnana fire. And are we merely holding the wood and wondering why it is still dark? Holding the wood means what? Listening to some stories here and there, some books here and there, some Atma Bodha 1-2 classes, some Swamiji, some video. I think I should think about Atma Jnana. I know I am mundane fellow. Someday I have to start. Chalta hai, go, let's go along. Maybe next Janma I try. Next Janma you are a dog. What you will do? No. After that I will do some good work as a dog. Then become again man. Then I will try. That's not one. Don't postpone. There is no postponing here. We never know whether we are tomorrow. We are existing. Where is the question of postponement? Do it right now. When? How long? As long as required. Until the flame of knowledge is nicely burning. Let's read the verse. Okay. एवमात्मा अरणौ ध्यानमथने सततं कृते उदिता avagatirjwala. That jwala, that's what I am looking for. Udita avagatirjwala sarva ajnana indhanam dahet. Sarvajnana indhanam dahet. Sarva ajnana indhanam jwala dahet. That's it for today. If you have any questions, I'm thinking of Bhajagovindam will be the next topic after the Atma Bodha. We have finished 42. We are 26 verses away from the final verse, and maybe 13 classes it will take. After that, Shankaracharya's world famous Bhajagovindam text probably we will take.
Sahanavavatu sahanau gunattu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Pranam Guruji.
Thank you. I'll share the PDF of today's talk as well as the video shortly. Go through all that. The playlist also will be given. And those who have not seen the previous videos, you can view them. This is the time in your life. I tell you, my dear, time is running out. Not much is left. Start today now and then get deeper and deeper. Keep your worldly things a little away. They will wait. They can wait. Atma Jnana cannot wait. It is urgent. It is emergent. Okay, please take this advice and heed to it. And I'm going to post this inputs to you. If you have any doubts, please put in the group. Whatever is possible, I will try to answer. We'll come up with 43rd and 44th verses next Sunday. Till then, all of you have good luck. Subham Bhuyat.